Mission Pro Wrestling, the symbol of excellence in women's sports entertainment.
Hey, everybody, welcome to Mission Pro Spotlight. We are shining a spotlight on women's wrestling across the world. And specifically tonight, we're going to showcase an incredible banger that occurred this past weekend on a PLE that if you already know, you know. But of course, I am Mind Runner, sometimes Mid Runner. And with me, of course, are my two awesome co-hosts. First, it is Angel Marie, the most deadly woman with a kendo stick flag and the nemesis of Armani Sage. Angel Marie, how are you doing?
I am doing great. I've kind of been sleeping all day, but you know, it's fine. It's summer.
Hey, that's what you do. That first week of summer vacation. Hey, teachers do that too. Let me tell you something. Teachers do that too. Yes, we do. And of course, and I understand. I have a T-shirt for a certain wrestler. You are sporting Tippy Time.
It's Tippy Time.
Tippy Time. Very good. And of course, supporting the #1 paper company in Scranton is none other than Miss Dora, the Tessa Blanchard's #1 fan, Dora.
That's wild.
When I saw it said that Grok, that Angel says Grok, that Tessa Blanchard rules, I was like, that's a lie. Grok is a liar and a blasphemer, lying on my friend like that.
Well, that was one of the multiple choice questions. And for everybody to know, I was asking Grok to come up with trivia questions about Mission Pro Spotlight specifically. And one of them says, what is Angel Marie's favorite tagline or favorite saying? And one of the multiple choice was Tessa Blanchard rules. And
yeah, I would not say that.
No, boo.
Boo.
But then the correct answer was Armani Sage sucks. And that was exactly it. So Dora, how you been? How you doing? Are you chilling, relaxing?
Yeah, I've been pretty much off all week, and I just randomly passed out earlier. So it was a good nap. I had a good nap. Great nap.
Awesome. Nap. Oh, look at it. We are the nap squad right now. We are the nappy crew. Maybe nappy crew's not a good name for us. We're very pro nap here at Mission Pro. And why we've got to rest up because there's so much women's wrestling news and awesome stuff in women's wrestling going on. It's tough. Not even the three of us can keep track of all of it. And we're trying really hard. We are really trying, but there's so much going out there and there is so much in the news. But before we get to all the good, awesome news, maybe we should address some troubling news for at least two of the people on this podcast. Maybe we should update the We Love Wrestling draft rankings as of today. Without further ado, let's get to the rankings.
Like I always say, if I love wrestling and you love wrestling, then we love wrestling. It's 2 Street.
Okay, so Team Mission Pro Spotlight. Not in last place.
I wish we were on last.
But good old Tall Can had a little bit of a surge thanks to
I
hate Venus in the Ring. I hate Countdown City Wrestling. I hate Tall Can listening. I hate If I May Speak Candidly right now. Only does Nicole right now.
We're being such haters.
Megan's even getting some strays here now too, but boo. All right, and just to kind of go through it, I mean, again, Stephanie Vaquer got a lot of W's, and just to go, I went the other way. Here's the breakdown of who's earned points since this started. Mayu Iwatani has got 4. Masha again, we knew Masha was going to be racking up points, so there's no surprise there. But look at Indy Hartwell, Kenzie Page, and Tony Storm. Kenzie Page had a wilder. She had like 3 wins in a row, like 2 of them the same night. So she's been racking up. Tony Storm, and we've talked about this before. Tony Storm is a champion that wrestles. She's active. Where a lot of times when a champion gets a belt, they kind of sit back and they get chased. But I love that Tony Storm is active. Hyan is really Hyan's racking up some points as well for our good friend Tall Can, and so there's a lot of W's here. And Roxy got some wins for us, and Izzy of course got a win, but we'd like to see some more numbers on the board here and see what goes on. But just to kind of break out Team Mission Pro, Willow got us a win last night on AEW. We're going to talk about that mixed tag. Izzy's got some matches coming up, fingers crossed. And we're going to get into the wrestling news and talk a little bit about what's going on with Tatum and Tiffy time. See,
Tiffy's not defending that belt. I'm tired of her. Put her on. We need some points. We need to win some matches.
Girl.
Well, we'll talk about
it. Cute.
We will talk about that. Maybe there might be Tiffy might be having to defend that title, and coming up very soon. But all kinds of cool stuff going on, and really seriously, I feel like this is a fun way to truly enjoy women's wrestling. Really, and it's forcing me to actually focus and find out matches that I didn't even know were out there, having to make sure everybody's getting points. And so it's really cool to kind of expand our interest. And it's all in good fun, but it doesn't mean we don't have to, occasionally it doesn't mean we don't have to pout sometimes. If right now, I think if I had to judge how is Mission Pro Spotlight feeling in this tournament, this probably sums up exactly how we're feeling looking at Tall Can.
Yeah. We love 5th place, apparently. We've got strong in the 5th place.
But shout out to everybody that's involved. But we have a lot of wrestling news to get to and some interesting discussions, because a lot of what's going on in women's wrestling news has really sparked some I won't say controversial, but some stuff to really talk about. So without further ado, let's get to what WTF is going on in women's wrestling. All right, kicking it off, the former Mariah May is now known as Blake Monroe, to mixed reactions, which of course your reaction of joining NXT. A lot of AEW fans were kind of upset and just sad to see her go. But if you're a fan of wrestling, you gotta be happy whenever any wrestler goes anywhere to further their career. And as I've said before, I think this is a plus for everybody. She'd really, after her feud with Tony Storm, there really wasn't much else for her to do in AEW, and so it's good to kind of see her there. But Blake Monroe and Dora, I know there's a whole incredible story behind how she generates her name, but I have a follow-up question I want to ask everybody too. But Dora, if you could just kind of explain kind of the persona and where she came up with the name Blake Monroe.
I don't know where the Monroe came from, but I for sure know that Blake came from her niece. She posted a picture to everything, which is adorable. I think this is a cute name for her. I think people were like, oh, she's biting off of Tiffany and blah, blah. And I was like, no, with this. And then they're like, she's copying Tiffany because she's doing like Sabrina Carpenter. And I was like, no, I think people are just too young to realize that this little cartoon vignette she did was actually Bewitched. You know what I mean? And I was like, no, it's Bewitched. It's not Sabrina Carpenter. But I love Sabrina Carpenter. Yes. Mm-hmm. Never. But yeah, I think this was a good name for her. I can't even imagine, because they're so terrible at picking names sometimes. So I'm glad they picked a cute name for her, because this could have gone very south. And I think I was happy with this. I loved her little intro she did. I think it was really cute. It was very her. you know. And I can't wait to see what else she does because I'm super excited. Like, I like Mariah May. I think she's one of the people that did it right. You know, she went to she didn't wrestle, you know, before. So she went to the Performance Center after she didn't get into WWE. She went to AEW, perfected her craft, went against Tony. Like, she's had major matches. So now that she's able to come back and have like those kinds of matches, I think she'll be a lot stronger than a lot of the girls that are in the Performance Center. She'll be able to do more because she knows more. Like, no offense to a lot of the girls that come in, they are like her where they don't, you know, wrestle before. So they have to learn, you know, and move forward. And if you can't move forward with WWE, I see no problem going to the Performance Center, going to AEW, going back to the Indies, and then maybe coming back.
Yeah, she did that time in Japan with Stardom, and you know, with Club Venus was huge for her. Yeah, and it's amazing that anytime especially female wrestlers go to Japan, they come back a much more polished wrestler.
Yes.
You know, Anna Jay. You know, you could talk about Sky Blue. You could talk about a lot of these wrestlers that when they come back, you can just see they're much more polished. And yes, now that you know they quickly have pushed that Jordan Grace, Stephanie Vicaire, our girl Roxy, you know, they're putting them to the main roster. This is somebody that could really fill that void. You know, this is going to be a superstar. And like those we just mentioned, it's probably not going to be long before we see Blake Monroe on the main roster after a few months in NXT. But you're absolutely right. She's going to rub off on the talent, the more greener talent that's there. And I think that's, and like you said, some people are saying, "Oh, is she ripping off this and that, the other thing?" No, Blake is the name of her niece, and Monroe actually is a throwback to Marilyn Monroe. So there is a little bit of that influence of that, not quite Toni Storm, because Marilyn Monroe isn't like Toni Storm's much more like the Joan Crawford, Betty Davis, where Marilyn Monroe is much more of a pinup. So I do think that's a difference there. And Mariah May's going to Blake Monroe is going to crush it. I'm excited for it. But it's interesting though, and Angel, I want to know your thoughts on this, and I want Dora as well, that there seems to be a different, like, I understand WWE, they want to do things their way, they have a system and blah blah, they're whatever. But it's interesting that there seems to be a difference when a well-known wrestler joins NXT or WWE. A lot of times they're allowed to keep their name from other promotions. Like, for example, Jordan Grace is still Jordan Grace. Ethan Page is still Ethan Page. And Stephanie Vicaire, Julia. But it's interesting that Delta became Zarya. It's interesting that Mariah May is now Blake Monroe, Ricky Saints, and Flair. So why do you think, do you think it's something specifically just copyright, or do you think, Angel, this is a way for WWE to kind of assert their dominance? Like, we're going to control your character. You're going to be Cora Jade and you're going to ride a skateboard instead of tarot cards.
I mean, possibly, but it could also be a copyright issue. Honestly, I don't know. And it does kind of bug me whenever, if there's, no, copyrights against her name, why can't they use it going into WWE? If there was, nothing bad against it, I don't know. And with the whole Blake situation, I do kind of like the name. It's kind of growing on me. I know a lot of people were really, mad about it. I was like, why are y'all so mad about a name? I was like, oh my goodness.
Wait, Angel, are you saying wrestling fans on the internet were upset about something?
Yeah, I know. Shocker, right?
Breaking news.
Wow, it's crazy. No, but I mean, it's an okay name. It's gonna be a change from Mariah May, but that's you kind of got to get used to change, how we had to get used to going from Maddie Rinkowski to Ren Sinclair, which still sounds really weird to say. So
yeah. Absolutely. And of course, Roxy is still Roxy to us.
Yeah.
But
for sure.
But it's funny. I've been kind of playing around with Grok on Twitter, or playing around with ChatGPT and whatnot. Of course, Twitter, there you go. I'm dead naming Twitter right now too, because it's
because they're X.
I went through and I said, all right, create a WWE NXT name generator. So what it does is you put in your name and it's going to spit out it's going to, you got to say your name and you got to say tell them your gender. And then it's going to randomly choose either a celebrity or wrestler's first name and a celebrity or wrestler's last name. And that's going to be your NXT. So here we go. Live. We're going to find out. I'm going to put Aaron Burden. That's my shoot name. And let's see. My wrestler name is. It's going through. It's thinking. And I am Johnny Clooney, Johnny the Crusader Clooney. All right.
It's not terrible.
That's not. Yeah.
Now wrestling Johnny the Crusader Clooney. All right, Clooney. There you go.
I like
All right,
that.
now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna put Dora and Angel Marie. I'm not gonna use your shoot last names. So let's go Dora and female. And here we go. Dora randomly choosing. Looks like it's thinking. It's going with a first name randomly chosen, and your wrestler name. Oh, look, Taylor Guerrero. Taylor Guerrero. That's you.
Against it. I love Guerrero. Yeah.
Yeah, Taylor Guerrero. So you are the. And it says Taylor the Grit. I don't know if I like the Grit because isn't that a breakfast or something? Natalie, or you could be this. Follow-up said Natalie Jolie. You could either be Taylor Guerrero or Natalie Jolie.
That sounds like someone's real name. Like, I swear I follow someone by that name on Instagram.
Natalie Jolie. There we go. All right, Angel Marie. Now this is your NXT name, not your indie name. So
okay, because for the ones that already know, I got a name chosen.
Yep. But here we go. But when you go to NXT and Hunter and Shawn Michaels, they're gonna pull you in.
Oh God.
Zendaya the Prowler Piper. Zendaya the Prowler Piper. Or Scarlett Winslet. The Wasp.
Scarlett's not too bad.
Scarlett Winslet.
Ooh, the Wasp.
Kind of cute.
I like
Yeah,
that.
the Wasp.
I like that.
I don't know if I like the Wasp, but I like Scarlett. That's cute.
Yeah, Scarlett Winslet.
Scarlet Windsor.
the
Yeah,
Wasp.
that would go with the kendo stick, honestly. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of like a little sting when it hits you.
Wait, okay.
You can join the killer, the King Bees if they get back together.
Ooh.
That'd be so fun.
Yes.
You're like, oh my God, it's Scarlett Winslet. and
It's
then
the Wasp.
Taylor Guerrero comes out in a lowrider. Viva la raza. We lie, we cheat, we steal, we nap, we watch TV, we talk wrestling.
Yeah.
Woo woo. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, let's do let's do Courtney Holland and Jenna in the chat real quick. They're
Oh my
in the
God.
chat asking. All right, we're gonna do Courtney in the chat. Courtney Holland, and here we go. They're looking at either Emma Watson or Beyonce. They're considering Beyonce. It's loading. Okay, her name is Adele Bullock, the Blaze.
Ooh.
Adele
Okay.
Bullock. Okay. Or looks like our runner-up is
Why are you laughing?
Beyonce Savage.
That's not terrible.
I like Courtney is Beyonce Savage.
Beyonce.
I like Beyonce Savage. All right. Now we're gonna do Jenna, last name
Okay.
Winna.
I know you already have a name, Jenna, but this is like, as I literally said, like, I already have a name plan too, because we both know our names. But this is if we get to NXT and then Shawn and Hunter are like, no, you have to change your name. So
Yep, Shawn Michaels is Shawn Michaels and Triple H. They pull you in the office and they're saying, Jenna, we love your indie name, but we got to tell you, You got to go. Oh, Angelina the Storm Steamboat. Angelina Steamboat. That's
Angelina Steamboat.
Angelina's like from Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Angelina Steamboat. So there we go. Angelina Steamboat and Beyonce Savage. That's a tag team right there. So
oh my God.
Anyways, so Blake Monroe, let's celebrate it. Let's move forward. You know, it's the WWE thing. Just like how Cora Jade is now back to Elena Black. Shotzi is, I think, Shotzi Blackheart, which ladies and gentlemen, what have I done? I think I've started a fire here, but I'm not going to take credit because, I mean, this was just me. I think I was just prescient. But, yeah, I think I might have started some smack between Matt Cardona and Shotzi Blackheart here. On the upper left, one more, you know, Shotzi Blackheart declared herself the new indie god. And she put a post both on Instagram and Twitter that declaring herself the new indie god. So I decided, this would be a cool fantasy booking, which, you know how we have a little bit of that Mission Pro booking magic here. I mean, Angel and Marie and I, we booked, we had that Carolina Cruz Izzy match. We got that going for us. So I put up this thing. It said, who rules the indie? It said, who's going to book this match? And I tagged GCW. I said, who's going to book the Who Rules the Indies? Because Matt Cardona, the self-proclaimed indie god, and now Shotzi's calling herself the new indie god. Well, Matt Cardona saw it, got upset, and said, yeah, who's going to book this match? I'm going to beat this green-haired thief back to Connecticut. Started going off. And so what I didn't know is in that the rest of that day, he actually got in touch with his gimmick lawyers, you know, for gimmick infringement, and actually has filed a copyright lawsuit for Indie God and Deathmatch King against Shotzi. And Shotzi had fired some shots back. And if you just go on to either Instagram or Twitter and just look at the back and forth between the two of them, and Shotzi's already cut a couple incredible promos, like the true indie god story, totally slamming the Zack Ryder stuff that he used to do when he was an Edgehead. It's phenomenal. This feud is already, it just started, and this feud is already cooking. And it's gonna take the match. Zach, GCW that afternoon booked the match for July 11th in Dallas, where hopefully all of us, at least I will be in Dallas for this match. We already are getting tickets for GCW. We will be there for this back and forth slaughter between the two of them. And we will see firsthand who will be the undisputed indie god. Incredible how this happens. This is one of those, like, from booking to now. I'm real. I'm not saying that I booked this match. I mean, I think
you did. You did.
But it's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, she flat out called herself the new indie god. All I did was kind of facilitate Matt Cardona hearing about it and going, wait a minute, I'm the indie god. Who does she think she is? But yeah, all right, maybe I did kind of book this match, but talk about take my money. This is going to be incredible, and I'm excited for it. And, you know, again, this highlights too, and, you know, about whenever someone gets released now, and it, you know, a lot of it is AEW, but it's more to do with just, I think, with social media, what's available now. Indie wrestling is so much more accessible that you can make, and Matt Cardona has proved it, you can make an incredible living as an independent wrestler. You have to push yourself, but it's kind of like with stand-up comedians now, where they can make a living without having to go on the Tonight Show or get a sitcom. They can make a living just doing stand-up because you can reach your fan base. Shotzi hit the ground running. You know, she got released, and she's actually wrestled more in the last couple weeks than she has, I think, on NXT since she's been back, you know, right before her release. So I'm gonna start with Angel Marie and Dora. Do you feel like, I mean, are we really seeing a golden age of indie wrestling here? And just kind of are we really starting to see that line blurred between men and women wrestling? A lot more intergender matches, a lot of really, it's such a cool time to be a wrestling fan. And are we kind of getting to a point where you can make a living as an independent wrestler? What do you think, Angel?
I mean, I think so. I know I've said this before on here, but I've definitely really gotten into the local San Antonio scene recently. I mean, not recently. It's been for like a couple months now, but I've gotten super into it. It's the indies definitely are booming. Not just with smaller local talent, but also these big names coming out of like huge companies that are now wrestling on the independents, making a name for themselves. And yeah, that is true. She's listed them all out before to me. But no, so definitely the indies are booming, and it's cool to be able to see like all these big names like coming and doing local shows, and then they're like more accessible. That's what I love about the indies. It's a lot more accessible than WWE shows. And I'll rant here a little bit. I was originally planning on going to SmackDown in like a month. I think it is. I don't know. Yeah. But then I decided I don't want to because it's a lot of money. Like, these big companies cost so much money, and you're maybe in the nosebleeds. And I'm like, bro, almost $100 for a nosebleed seat. You don't even get to meet any other wrestlers. You can barely see the action half the time. Half the time it's advertisements too, which I understand advertisements. You have to run the show, right? But it can get excessive sometimes too, and that's a whole different rant.
We can talk about that in Money in the Bank. I mean, I think they had a logo on it was like NASCAR, but yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah. Yeah. And so indie wrestling just has a special place in my heart, not just because of the people that I've met through it, but also just because it feels a lot more accessible, and it's just so much fun. The atmosphere is so different than a big show, because then you get to go up to the wrestlers and meet them and talk to them and get to know about their stories and stuff too. And so and you can be really close to the action without breaking your bank. Like, I'm paying for 2 shows this weekend in total, I'm paying $30, and I got front row for both of them.
Yeah, right there.
So exactly. It's a huge bargain from paying almost like, I want to say I paid close to $80 or $100 for my ticket for Saturday night's main event, and I was up in the nosebleeds. So it's a huge difference. And so, I mean, that's why I love indie wrestling.
Indie wrestling is great. It's personal, and like you said, the accessibility. I mean, you're going to see stars that it's not like, Beer Belly Joe versus, Sally in the trunk here wrestling.
Not in our area anyway. Not in our area.
Beyonce Savage. Maybe Beyonce Savage will show up. But you're going to see like Matt Cardona, Shotzi Black. You're going to see Elena Black. You're going to see these people that we've been following. And if you're lucky, maybe, Masha Slamovich might land on your lap, or La Rosa Negra is going to drink your beer and then pour it on Masha Slamovich. I mean, you're going to get those fan interactions. And it's, I think, to me, like you said, why, and especially now it looks like TKO is jacking up these WWE prices. AEW still kind of being reasonable. All-in tickets weren't so bad. We got good tickets, but it's like, why you could pay a couple $100 and be in the nosebleeds for a big event, or $20 you're ringside at this, and you're seeing them right there, and you never know who's going to show up. You might Gigi Dolan or Priscilla Kelly is going to show up, or something like that, or Elena Black. And to me, I feel like I don't know, Darrow, if you had a choice between going to a nosebleed section of a big PLE, or going to being front row at a GCW event, which would you prefer?
GCW, without a doubt. Like, when I went to WrestleMania weekend, I didn't even go to WrestleMania. I just went to indie shows.
Yeah, right?
It was better. Like, I would rather spend like $300 going to a bunch of indie shows that I'm going to be like right there looking at these people, instead of being in the nosebleeds, like being lonely at the top of the tower. So
binoculars, like,
exactly.
Well, here's a great
No.
point. Dynamite Download. We're going to All In, but Friday night they had this big Ring of Honor show. Now, granted, it does sound like the main event is going to be Athena versus Thunder Rosa, but why pay all this money to go to Ring of Honor when in the same night GCW for $40 we can get ringside tickets at GCW, and they're booking matches like Matt Cardona versus Shotzi. They already said Elena Black's going to be there. Priscilla Kelly's going to be there. The former Fuego del Sol, aka KJ Orso.
I'm so mad I missed his match at New Texas Pro because I saw his promo when the show first started, but I had to go do my pod, so I didn't get to see his match. And I was like, this is devastating. Like, I am sad.
Well,
because I genuinely like I told you, I feel like Shotzi, Eliana, like all these girlies that got let go coming to the indie scene is exactly what they should be doing.
Yes.
Like, you use the Performance Center. If WWE feels like, oh, we can't use you anymore, like, okay, you can use them. Like, you can use the Performance Center name. You can use the WWE brand. Like, hey, I used to work there. You know what I mean? And people will probably make jokes in the beginning, like you couldn't cut it, but I was at NXT. This is a developmental brand. Of course I wasn't on the main roster, and oh well, you know what I mean? Like, this is what you're supposed to do.
Look at Carolina Cruz. Carolina Cruz is a great example. NXT, she was like green coming in. She had the rugby background. They cut her, and she hits the ground running. And look at what she's doing now. She's crushing it on the indie scene.
Blake Monroe over here doing the same thing. She went around all these companies to get this experience and then came back. Then she was important. They realized, oh yeah, we shouldn't have let her go. So
it's great. You love to see it. By the way, I don't book for GCW, but I have a feeling we're going to get KJ Orso versus Abaddon at
so
GCW. Good. So that will be the Zombie. Will be coming. Let's move on though. We got to talk about Money in the Bank and the aftermath. Little sad tear, but I think we all saw this coming. Kind of interesting metamorphosis. The man or big time Bex. She's kind of being this heel character and kind of trying to make Lyra her young boy, if you will, to use a New Japan term. But we found out on Raw, guess who's back and guess who's not having it? We've got Bayley. So let me ask you, I mean, how do y'all feel about Becky being the Intercontinental Champion? And is this the right move? Should they have rather use this as a vehicle to promote Lyra more? Or are we now just kind of putting Lyra in the background and having a Becky versus Bayley feud? Dora, how do you feel about this?
I really I'm tired of Becky being there, so I definitely think they should have kept it on Lyra. I think it would have been a lot better. I would have rather have the Lyra Bayley feud. Like, Lyra can feud. Like, I don't understand why they took the belt off of her. If they're gonna bring, unless she didn't, I don't know, because Lyra looked really surprised that Bayley was there. So I'm wondering if she didn't know or they didn't tell anybody. Mm-hmm. But I think Lyra versus Bayley would have been good. Like, I get they were tag team partners, but yeah, I guess they're going to do the Becky versus Bayley because, Becky took out Bayley. But I just don't see the point, I guess, in Becky being back. Like, I don't like the horsewomen coming in and, not putting people over, if that makes sense. Like, why keep taking these belts back? Same thing. I know people love the Bella Twins. I get it. But I don't see what they need to be back for either. Like, Nikki Bella, I don't understand her coming back. We don't need them anymore unless they're going to be here to push. So I get it. They were monumental in helping the Divas era, stuff like that. But we don't need them past Evolution, honestly. Like, Becky, don't need her past Evolution. The Bellas won't need them past Evolution. Charlotte, I can still see Charlotte wrestling, honestly. Charlotte's probably the only one that I can be like, okay, let's keep using her. Alexa, we can keep using her. Because these are different vets that, it may not seem like Charlotte's putting people over, but I think she is in a way.
Pushing She gets a lot of heat, unnecessary heat. I think she's actually pushing, like, and I even think that whole thing with Tiffany was like, hey, if you're going to be in the big time, you need to be able to put like she actually, I think, legit pissed Tiffany Stratton off to the point where Tiffany was like cut a legit shoot, almost half shoot promo. And that, and if you like, you listen to guys like Eddie Kingston, that's what they say. It's like a good promo kind of comes from the heart. It's kind of half truth. There's usually a nugget of truth in there. You use whatever your emotion is and you roll with it. And I think Charlotte gets it's interesting how Charlotte gets a lot of heat, yet I almost feel like Becky's kind of almost stomped over this whole thing with Lyra. I think Bayley does try to put people over, but
Bayley puts everybody over. Like Bayley definitely. You heard that interview where she was like, I don't know, I just don't feel like I should be up there. We're like, Bayley, you literally are the one of everybody that should have the belt. Out
of the 4 horsewomen, I think she does the most. But I think, it's really bizarre. And like I always think like bringing in these one-off legends, it's kind of like you get a sugar rush and then a sugar crash. It's a temporary feeling. Why are we gonna try to now do something with Nikki Bella and Liv Morgan when Roxy and Liv that's the way to go. I mean, that's such a more compelling storyline. Angel Marie, your thoughts? Is Becky hogging the spotlight? Do you think it was the wrong decision to take the belt off of Lyra, or is there a long-term story that we're just missing?
I don't know. I agree. I don't know why we're putting the belt on Becky. I mean, I understand, you have to switch title hands eventually, but Becky has already done so much, and I feel like Lyra just should have gone over. And with the whole Bella's thing, I am actually really excited to see Nikki back. But that's just because she was my childhood. Okay, that was my childhood. But do I want
the right
her?
Bella Twin came back, right? The right Bella Twin. It wasn't Brie. So
I mean, I don't know. I liked Brie too. I don't know. I don't know.
No. Hey, good.
I don't know. But yeah, so I don't think that we should really be using Nikki after Evolution, and it is kind of weird. I don't really get why they just threw Liv into that, but I don't know. That whole thing was weird too. Why are we throwing Liv and Nikki in the storyline? I mean, okay, I guess
going all the way back to when Liv was with
Riot Squad.
Yeah, and they were losing to them a lot. I don't understand where they're. You can't start 12 years later.
No,
that's literally ridiculous.
Somebody holding a grudge on that.
Yeah, no way. Unless they're gonna use it to build Liv, but once again, Liv doesn't need the building. They're just building with the people that don't need it. Honestly,
unless we're expecting the feud to be the battle between Liv and Roxy over Dom. What if Dom ends up with Nikki Bella, the recently divorced Nikki Bella?
I could see that just for arm candy for a little bit. She likes being arm candy. It
doesn't have to be a long-term story, but imagine if Nikki Bella grabs Dom. Imagine the feud. Imagine the pop that would. I mean, Dom, of course, heat magnet, right? I mean, he's not getting the views as much anymore. But imagine he not only turns on Liv, which look at his history, with Rhea and with Rey Mysterio too. But now he's gonna turn on both of Liv and Roxy and go off with Nikki Bella. Liv would lose her mind. Roxy, of course, would lose her mind. And Finn Balor would be just like, whoa.
Damn.
Anyways, it'd be interesting to see. But yeah, let's if you're gonna bring back legends, let's use them to enhance the future talent. But this was just one part. Although we had it was a great match, but it was a sad outcome for Lyra to lose. We got to talk about the women's Money in the Bank. And yes, unequivocally, it was our banger of the week.
Hold on to your Kulos Mission Pro fans. I call it. It's the banger of the week.
I cannot think of a better showcase for how awesome the WWE Women's Division is becoming, thanks to NXT and thanks to incredible performances by Alexa Bliss, Mommy, and the incredible Emmy-worthy performance of Trinity, a.k.a. Naomi, a.k.a. the Caution Queen. We have three of the rising stars from NXT that we just know were destined for main roster, and three veterans that deserve their flowers. I felt the outcome was just icing on the cake. To me, the ladies showed up for work. They outshined. I think they outshined the men. I think this was tremendous all around. We'll talk about some specific moments, and there was a lot of opportunity here, but I felt like this was such a great showcase of how far women's wrestling has come. Think about from, the Attitude Era to now, broad panty matches, what have you. Now look at what we've had. We had a Devil's Kiss on a ladder.
Yeah.
I mean, incredible match. Dora, your initial thoughts. What were your takeaways from this just incredible match, and what feuds are you looking to see to spawn from this? And did you get chills when you saw some of the moves here?
Yes, I think the spots were actually so good. I mean, last year's Money in the Bank for the women was really good, honestly, but they did some good ones this.
Yes.
I loved Stephanie Bucket. I loved how much they actually used the ladders for this too.
Yep.
They actually were on there showing hey, we can use the ladders too. It's not just the men. And I think they literally picked the perfect six for this out of the people they did have, that were in the qualifying matches. I don't think they would have had as good of a show if they'd had others had won. That's not a shot at any other girls either, because they're all really good. But it was just these are the women that you definitely the new three, Steph, Julia, and Roxanne. They wanted this Money in the Bank just as much as Trinity, Rhea, and Alexa did. These were people that these women literally were on the show these past few weeks. I'm going to win this. It wasn't second guessing. It wasn't any oh, maybe I'll win this. They're no, we're going to come and we're going to get this. And one of us is winning. And it's going to be me. That's how they all felt. Which I will say they did really good about making it oh my gosh, who's going to win? I definitely was at one point I was oh my gosh, Roxy's going to take it.
Right.
I can't believe they're going to give it to her. And then Naomi won and I was I don't even care, because she was it was her. Roxy and Naomi, Trinity deserved it. You know what I mean? She's put so much into the company. She needed it. I love her little ode to Carmella with her outfit.
The money. Yep.
Yes, it was cute. And, she's the first Black woman to win the case. Mm-hmm. So I think it was good. And then the little moment between Rhea and Alexa, we can do it too. Not just y'all with your new moves, to the new girls. So I think it was good. I think it was a really good match.
Who would you say is your MVP from this match, though? Who would you say? Not necessarily Naomi for winning. If you had to pick an MVP, who was the standout? Who shined the most?
I think definitely Stephanie for sure. I'm really ready. All of these women could feud with each other any day of the week, and I'd watch them. They're all so good. We've already seen what Julia can do with Stephanie. We've seen what Roxy can do with Stephanie and Julia. We've seen them, but we haven't seen them with the main roster, and that's what we want to see. So any of them, they showed, hey, we're gonna put on some good matches later. So just keep watching.
And Stephanie is the queen of the Devil's Kiss, or as Knopf likes to call it, the Shucky Ducky Quack Quack. And here's footage from one of those best moments that for Stephanie Vaquero.
I'm Booker T.
Yes.
Boo, no, boo.
Boo!
Boo, enough.
Enough.
Now, Angel Marie, I'd like to know just in your general thoughts too. Just this standout performance of all 6. What do you think? Of course, Naomi being the champion or winning the Money in the Bank. Where do you see Naomi going from here? Do we continue the feud with Jade? Does she go after Tiffy? What do you think? What do you expect there? And what are some other feuds you see coming out of this and that you'd like to see?
Honestly, I don't know. I feel like what I would like to see personally is that she holds it for more than a week.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
here recently, a lot of the women, okay, well, except for Tiffany last year, but like a lot of the times the women cash in like the same night or like not even a whole week later. I'm like, can we like keep the longevity of it?
Well,
and I mean, I think that they might want to do that as well because they have the Cash App logo on it, which I was also bad about. I was like, y'all ruined the briefcase, man. I don't even care if it was tiny. I was like, bro,
we got to talk about it. Yeah. And now remember like the pink Tiffy time Money in the Bank case, right? Well, yeah. They got to sell caution tape Money in the Bank briefcases.
That's what I was going to say. I'm waiting for her to decorate it. I don't know if she'll glow it. But she's definitely going to caution tape it.
I'm buying that briefcase. I don't care. I don't have no belts. I don't have no nothing, no memorabilia. I don't care if I have to start with the case, but I want it to be her caution case so bad. I need the, like, how Tiffany's got messed up and she got the pink? I want them to mess up this case and then she just makes it look cool with the caution tape.
Angel, where you said glow too. I was thinking that wouldn't that be awesome? The letters Money in the Bank glow green.
Ooh.
But then you have the caution tape over it. I mean, take my money. I think that would be incredible.
Probably cost a lot of money too, but
yeah, and Pepe's right. There's a video of a bunch of stuff that she's put in the case already. She's using it like a briefcase. She's got a Uso figure in there. Is she married to Jay or Jimmy? Jay, right? Is she married to Jay?
No,
Jimmy.
It's a Jimmy figure.
It's a Jimmy figure. She's got a Jimmy Uso figure in there. She's got tape, scissors, all kinds of cool stuff. Caution in the Bank, Jenna says. I think that would be fantastic. Caution in the Bank. I love that. But yeah, Angel Marie, you mentioned Cash App. Did WWE go a little too far with the marketing and logo placement, product placement? I mean, I understand when if you're going to promote Logan Paul's, sugar drink, or you're going to do this, but there was a lot of product placement at Money in the Bank. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So really quickly, I just want to share a photo. I don't even know if you can see that really. This is at a party. This is at a graduation party. And there's just a whole group of people, and we're just sitting there watching Money in the Bank. It was like 6 of us. It was like 5 or 6 of us, and we were just
hold that up again. We're gonna
commitment to the craft. Yes. I love it.
Oh my goodness. Oh, what happened? Where'd it go? Oh, I got it. Hang on. Oh my gosh. Boom. Caught in 4K. It literally caught in 4K. My Thea took a picture and she sent it in the group chat and she's like, LOL, everyone is watching wrestling. I'm like, calling me out.
Right.
Real life. Yeah.
Because the music wasn't good at first. But anyways, going back to the whole thing, I literally was talking to them about like, what are we doing with the sponsorships? I'm like, I understand, you need sponsors to run a show, like with any show, because money, huge thing, right? But do we really need it everywhere? I'm like, we had it on the turnbuckles, the ring mat, probably the entrance ramp too, or like the LEDs, the ladder, the briefcase, the announcer's desks, probably. I'm like, bro, y'all, can y'all find anywhere else to put a sponsorship? And do not try to do that because I do not want to see it.
They're gonna have to give them temporary tattoos of Slim Jim.
Yes, and I heard that they were trying to do that with like people's gear. I'm like, guys, really? I'm like,
LA Knight,
I get it, but
Jay Uso, I could see, Bianca, cool. Have them do little Slim Jim fits, but anyone else, like, no.
No, like unless it makes sense with the character and it goes well and it doesn't like seem like it's heavily advertised, then I think it'd be fun.
It's like everything. The ladders, everything had some kind of promo. So yeah, I am against product placement in advertising.
Yeah,
you know?
no way a ladder needs to be sponsored. No
Exactly.
way a table needs to be
There-
sponsored.
we-
like,
you know, I think you got to keep some integrity. You don't. The last thing you want to do is compromise your integrity by needlessly displaying your sponsors.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when you're like on a podcast. The last thing you got to do is needlessly talk about your sponsors. Which, of course, by the way, if you are feeling a little cottonmouthy, don't forget to stay hydrated, my friends, with Pepe Agua. You know, from the bottlers of Pepe Potit. You want to make sure that you are staying hydrated and make sure that is what you do here. So thank you, our sponsors. But we would never shamelessly promote.
No, like we would never do that. No.
Never at all.
Why would you ever advertise like on a freaking like I don't know, it's just weird.
It's weird because when you do have those insane sponsors, a lot of times things can get out of hand. Because you start to think, I mean, Dora, what are your thoughts? Do you think that compromises the integrity of the product?
I think it over advertises and makes people not really actually like register that it's there. Cause you know how you get used to seeing things? Like at some point you're gonna be able to ignore it. Like I was happy about Slim Jim replacing Prime in the middle of the ring though. I was like, thank God. Hopefully that's almost done. Because that's just too much. Yeah, I don't think it compromised it. I think it just like takes away from it because it's like, oh, okay, I see you so often. I don't think you're important anymore. Like I'm not influenced by it because I'm seeing it too often. I'm more like, oh well, I'll learn to ignore it because I'm seeing it way too often. So,
Angel, I'm dying over here.
You gotta hit scroll. You gotta do scroll.
Oh no! Wait,
hey, no.
Wait, hey, what do you mean hit scroll? I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, that's the ticket. Now, why does Callie Tita actually sell hot sauce? She needs to partner.
That would be so good. Or get like a hot Cheetos or hot.
Oh my gosh! Wait, I have an idea. Nobody tell her this, okay? It's her birthday next week. I'll make her a bottle of hot sauce, and it says Callie on it.
That'll be so cute.
Print a label. You could
Yes.
print a label. Heck, you could just get a hot sauce, peel off the old label, and put
on the new one. Yeah.
On there. You know what? Get one of those hot ones like the bomb or something.
Oh
and put it on there. Too spicy. And,
wait. Idea. Instead of hot sauce, what if I just got Big Red and made it look like a hot sauce?
Wild Red and wrap it around.
No, Wild Red, not the old red Big Red again. Oh no! Hey, Knopf already did that to her. I am not gonna disrespect my girl like that. No, we're not getting her Wild Red.
We'll do one Wild Red, just to replace it real quick, and then the rest of a Big Red. I'd be like, what happened?
Why is this here? That was probably Knopf.
You can actually order and create personalized flaming hot Cheeto bags. Well, they'll put any photo.
Oh my god.
How long?
That's probably not. We're not gonna have enough time.
Well, I don't know. If the turnaround is, we're gonna look into Etsy's got custom chip bags. You could do flaming hot Doritos. I don't know if they keep Takis.
This is crazy.
That's something. Hey, something for us to look into. I'm down.
I agree with Jenna. By the way, we should get more sponsors.
We should definitely get more sponsors. Absolutely. Well, anyways, moving on from our sponsorships, let's let's talk a little AEW. I just want to update you guys because I know Summer Blockbuster took place. 4 hours of AEW. I love AEW. I'm a huge fan. 4 hours was a lot. I'm not gonna lie. It's on a Wednesday night. Now, when it's a pay-per-view, you're kind of prepared for that. You're prepared for it, and it's pay-per-view matches. And the matches last night were great, but it was tough getting that through that last hour. I felt like, because one of the big complaints about Raw was the 3-hour Raw, and it almost felt like it was jam-packed. But I think less is more, and I'd like for Dynamite to stay 2 hours. But they are heating up this match between Toni Storm and CEO, Mercedes Moné, and she once again she was ringside eating a steak dinner, and Toni Storm grabbed the steak and messed with it. Great match with Julia Hart, and Julia Hart came out with Sky Blue. I think that, and we'll talk about this too, is that I think that AEW is really leaning into dipping their toe for women's tag team titles. I think that's the right move. They're going to unify one of the men's titles, the Intercontinental and the International and the Continental Breakfast title are going to become one title with Kenny and Okada. But so if they're going to get rid of that, I think this makes room for women's tag titles. It's great to see Ty Mello back. Ty J took on Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford and won. And one of the coolest moments was Megan Bayne's coming out to intimidate Ty, and Ty's like, "I'm not afraid of you. I ain't scared of you." Like she was mama.
Do you have an accent? I've never, like I told you,
yeah.
I didn't ever see her wrestle.
When she gets angry, her Brazilian accent comes out, and she's like, "I'm not afraid of you." And she and if you ever watch the Sammy vlog, when she gets pissed at Sammy, she goes, Samuel, no, I'm going to beat your ass. Oh, she's a chancla thrower too. She will, even though she's Brazilian, it's still, there's chancla in Brazil too, apparently. But she stood up there, and there was one moment where she was doing these kicks. She was doing these running high kicks on Megan Bayne. And on the third one, she went, "Bitch!" and just kicked her right in the face. It was like the scrappy dog that was like, I don't give it. I'm giving it. I don't care. You don't intimidate me. I'm going to still kick your ass. And it was great. Now, Megan Bayne still looked dominant because she still looked kind of, I don't want to call her Goldberg, but she was still a dominant force.
Goldberg, I hate you.
It's crazy.
I don't want to say it that, but Megan looked great, dominant. Penelope ate the pin, but what was cool was Megan was about to stomp on Tay Mello and help Penelope, but Anna Jay jumped up from the ropes and put her in the Queen Slayer from the ropes. Now it didn't put Megan Bayne out, but it prevented Megan Bayne from stopping the 3 count, and Ty Mello got the 1, 2, 3. So Ty J gets a win. But again, I think this is dipping our toe into women's tag team titles, which I think is fantastic. And AEW is really kind of starting to, I think, fully embrace the women's division now. And I think that's a huge thing, because not only does it look like we're preparing for women's tag titles, you also, Tekla had an incredible match last night against Queen Aminata. And this is Tekla's second debut. And if you followed her from Stardom, the storyline is that she was fired from Stardom for beating up the president. Reality, she was just coming to AEW. She's has a phenomenal gimmick. She's very she's kind of got a little Luna Vachon kind of this almost like scary vibe. And she does that upside down crawl. It's spooky. I didn't realize how tiny she was. She's about Roxy size. And compared to Queen Aminata, it was a David and Goliath. But if you get a chance to go and watch clips of this match, I feel like the two ladies, right before their match, they said, "Listen, we both have done Japanese wrestling. We both know strong style. Let's beat the crap out of each other." Because there were several spots that looked like they were legit hurting each other, but it didn't seem like it was unsafe. It seemed like it was planned. Like they both, there was some, like, you know, Aminata does that hip attack in the middle of the ropes that just is brutal. And they both are kicking and punching each other. It was great. Tekla finally got her in this like spider web submission. I like the presentation. I like that Tekla's coming in. I think she's going to be a great wrestler to move forward with. And I like that they're giving her that time to build her up and not just throw her in a title match against somebody to lose. They're building her up as a legit threat. And then finally, I think the women's division, I love our girl Willow had a intergender tag team match, and her teammates were Tomohiro Ishii, Tommy the Pitbull, the Stone Pitbull, and Redneck Kung Fu himself, Dem Boys, Mark Briscoe. This was such an awesome trio. It was the conglomeration back, but it was against MXM Collective, which they're fantastic. MXM Collection are some of the funniest guys in the ring, and we need them on our TV more. And Taya Valkyrie. I love that we're really embracing the intergender wrestling, and not just, you know, the rules are still like Willow will still like the female wrestlers wrestle each other, and if a female wrestler tags a male wrestler, the other female has to get out. But there was a lot more interaction. Like I didn't find the picture right that does it justice. But Taya Valkyrie got face to face with Tomohiro Ishii, and she shoves him. And Tomohiro, you know, he's not a man of words, but he had this look like, bitch, did you just push me? And did you just push me? And he had to, and so now people are wanting that match. We want Tomohiro versus Taya Valkyrie just because that was so good. But Willow, and we saw this when they took on the Death Riders, Willow was taking on everybody. She did it didn't gender did not matter. You were not safe from Willow, the babe with the power bomb. And ultimately Willow got the 1-2-3 on Taya. But I do think that this is kind of cool because this is setting some, you know, precedent that these are some matches that AEW presents very well, and the fans were loving it. I mean, this was such glorious chaos. It was if you have a chance to go check it out, please do. There was a really cool segment afterwards of Chris Statlander being a little bitter that Willow hasn't forgiven her for their past. And then Wheeler Yuta and Marina Shafir showed up. So there's question is Chris Statlander going to join the Death Riders?
I hope not. That'll be terrible.
Well, there's a lot of ways they could go, but if they are building up women's tag teams, I've always said let's get Willow and Chris back together as a tag team, and that could be the ultimate storyline. In fact, the storyline could be Chris Statlander having to decide between Willow or Marina Shafir, introduce women's tag belts. Statlander finally makes amends and joins with Willow, and then Marina says, "Okay, well, I've got my new tag team partner, Shayna Baszler." And so then we got ourselves some women's tag teams that'd be pretty brutal. So anyways, that's my
their women's tag teams at AEW make sense. Like the women they're putting together, they make sense. And even they're like thrown together, you know, tag teams make sense. Like when Thunder just randomly goes and saves someone and she works with them, like those make sense. Like WWE just has not figured out. They don't get it.
And they kill the ones that do make sense. I mean, Metaphor.
Literally.
What? That was
Metaphor made no.
They were great. And we don't even have to get into Chemical X, which I almost think they did that on purpose to make us mad because we were saying how well they work as a team.
They hate me.
They
said Angel loves who? Get him out of here.
Yeah.
Stephen Green in the chat, by the way. Yes, we're getting to that one though in a second. But yeah, that was my AEW report. AEW women's division. I think they're realizing the popularity of women's wrestling and the intergender matches, and I think we're going to see a lot more. It's time but it is so overdue for tag team titles, and I hope that we see that soon. Speaking of which, Stephen Green was talking about this in the chat, but yes, the return of the inspiration, the iconic mums, I like to call them, because back from having kids, the inspiration are back. They beat the crap out of was it not Ash by Elegance? Heather by Elegance, and I think it's been, oh, that was right. It's Brittany Brooks and Missa Kate. They had a match on TNA and they won. So and we've got this coming up at Combat Clash. The Inspiration versus Elena Black and Bea Priestley. So going back to our point, or circling back to your point, Angel, about independent wrestling. I mean, if I could pay $30 to sit ringside and watch this match, the Iconics versus Cora Jade and Blair Davenport, I mean, I don't need a WWE logo, and I don't need a Cash App logo on everything, or Slim Jim logo and everything to watch this. This is, sign me up, take my money. So, what do you think? Who do you got on this one? Do you think the Inspiration are back and they're gonna dominate? And Dora, this was the first. I don't think you really knew the Iconics. I kind of introduced you to them. I want to get Angel's thoughts first, but then I want to know, Dora, your thoughts on your introduction to the Iconic mums who are now the Inspiration. But Angel, are you stoked about this match?
I am. It seems pretty cool. I think the Inspiration will probably go over, just because Elena and Bea haven't even teamed up before, from what I know of. So I just kind of see the Inspiration winning.
Inspiration. See, I wish they could use Iconic. I wish they could use Iconic, because I just love that. Iconic. Dora, Angel and I introduced you to the Iconics, now the Inspiration, and we gave you some must-see clips. Your thoughts on them? I mean, and how they were, and where they are you a fan? Or did they kind of win you over with those clips?
I like their little clips. I was like, okay, I can get behind them. I definitely think I see them winning the Inspiration over. I know Eliana's just into the indie, she's getting back out there and wrestling, but I don't know. These the WWE girls fighting the WWE girls, the old girls, it always, I'm like, I don't know who they're gonna let win. You know what I mean? I'm always torn. But I think the Inspiration, I think they're gonna win. I definitely see them winning.
And the Inspiration are a legit tag team. In fact, that's one of the things I think
exactly.
That they were kind of like a little bit of how Chelsea Green is now. They were like two Chelsea Greens, and they were the women's tag team champions. And they were so obnoxious, but in a funny way. But it was just weird how if WWE embraced the women's tag team division more, I think they would have stayed. But they split them up, and both of these ladies, Cassie and Jessie, they took what they were given and made lemonade with it, because Cassie, Peyton Royce at the time, she retooled herself and became much more of a singles competitor. And then, Billie Kay at the time, she had a hilarious singles run where she was trying to join the Riot Squad. And
oh my gosh,
I got to send that to you, because she was trying to fit in with the Riot Squad, and Liv and Ruby came out, and then Billie Kay comes out, and she's got a plaid shirt wrapped around. She's all
yeah, rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
You gotta go see. And she's just, and Ruby and Liv are just kind of what is this? What are you doing? Hilarious. Also, not Jen Owena says tonight is the 6-woman match with Gypsy, Zaida, Becca, and Janai Kai. All right, so he's gonna get. I see a couple.
Someone's gonna get a point. God damn! I hope it's Nicole. I hope it's Nicole and not Knopf.
Yeah.
Fuck Knopf.
Hey,
Sorry,
Kid Demon.
Jenna. I do not need it to be Gypsy.
Yeah,
Please,
Gypsy,
no.
That's talking.
I love you,
Somewhere-
Gypsy.
Not tonight. Not tonight.
Somewhere I hear Knopf just laughing his ass off right now somewhere.
Oh,
But yeah, it's got to be Janai. I mean, Kit Demon, ever since she left MLW, she's actually been putting other people over. It's surprisingly, but I think the Kick Demon is due. There's a killer image of her in her match with I think it was Miyu Yamashita, and she's got her in that demon clutch thing, and I love that look on her face, like as she gets when she's got that submission. And I said it needs to be a T-shirt. So maybe we got to get Kick Demon back on the show and chat with her a little bit more and see what she's planning. Would you like to see Kick Demon at NXT, TNA, or AEW, or do you think?
Yeah,
let
her
her
against
go,
Masha.
Oh,
I want to see her kick Tessa Blanchard in her head. Like, there's so many.
I almost want Janai Kai to go AEW simply because I want to see her and Speedball Mike Bailey have a kickoff. Like, because they both do a lot of the same kicks. You know, they both wrestle barefoot. But it would be awesome to see. But yeah, ever kick Tessa Blanchard in the head, or go to NXT, and I think she'll fit in. Oh, Jenna's got an update, and good news, Nicole. Gypsy almost won if it wasn't for Janai, but Janai just won.
damn.
All right, now if we look back at the stats just now, that means that Down for the Count are now tied with Mission Pro Spotlight.
Oh
and
my
one-
God.
and one behind, but both of you are only one behind Tallcan. So Knopf and Stud Stash and Countdown City. Tommy was laughing, but they haven't gotten a point.
Boo, Tommy and Knopf, boo.
Tommy's an old man. And Knopf is
Tommy's
bald.
old, yeah, boo, boo.
I hate old bald people. Oh wait, not all of them. Only the ones called Tommy and Knopf.
we can't leave the news. We've got to without having our coveted Izzy report.
Wow, the timing for advertisements is crazy.
I know that we got to work on the advertising, around
Yeah.
here. I don't know.
Yeah,
what's
just
going on here.
yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah, so again, talking about Alina Black versus Izzy Moreno, that is still not until next month, July 27th, but I mean, that's still going to be a banger match. Come on. Like, that's insanity. And a little news from this past weekend. Izzy sold a kiss card. It's kind of weird to me. I mean, good for her. I love Izzy, but it's just kind of weird because it doesn't. I don't know. Like, I feel like the kiss cards are more so for gimmicks, if that makes any sense. And like, if the gimmick goes with it, then go ahead and have a kiss card. But Izzy's gimmick doesn't really like give off kiss card vibes. Like, she does mainly have a child fan base. I think that there was like 50, I want to say, and they like all sold out within like a few hours. I was like, you know what? If it works, good for you. Man.
It'd be creepy if one guy bought all 50 of them, just.
Oh, let's not even think about that. That's what I'm worried about too, because I'm like, that's disturbing.
Kiss cards are better than OnlyFans. That's all I can say. I'd rather her send kiss
True.
cards than OnlyFans at 18.
Not our girl.
Not our girl, but yeah.
Definitely not that. So I think the kiss card was like a safe segue. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
So just please be safe, Izzy.
I know, right? Please be careful.
I just don't. I mean, but you're right about the fit. Like, I could see Ash Byle against a Tony Storm. I could see the Blake Monroe kiss card, like those kind of things.
Mhm.
But like for Izzy, it's kind of you're right. It's contrary to her gimmick. She's like, gosh golly, BFFs, we're gonna kick some butt, you know, like that kind of thing. I mean, and no, she has kind of really gone tough. I mean, that promo she cut on Callie and Tita was almost a heel promo, you know, a little bit. But so she is getting some really solid promo work. But yeah, I don't know. The Kiss card just seemed. I'm gonna ask you. I want to ask both of your opinion. Like the Kiss card, I'm all for what, you know. Like we've talked about this too. Like we talked about it before with our guests, that back in the Attitude Era when women were the only option they had on WWE was a bra and panties or mud wrestling or wrestling in baby oil matches, those very sexually exploitive matches, where now if a woman wants to celebrate her sexuality, you know, go for it, you know, but it's the choice that they make. But like for example, would a Armani Sage Kiss card sell?
I would personally steal them all just so I can burn them.
Have a big bonfire. But you see what I mean? Like a John Cena Kiss card or a John Moxley Kiss card. You know, like Aubrey and Bloody. Yeah, or what's the next phase? I mean, when somebody gets busted open, selling a little bit of their blood on a card. I mean, I don't know. It just seems. I don't know. It just seems a little bit. I don't know. Maybe crazy. I'm missing something. It's a collector's item, but I don't know if I would. I don't know. Like with Izzy, it's like my niece. You know, it's like I don't want her to. I'm Tio Frio. I don't want my niece selling her kisses. No. Yeah. No.
Selling her kisses is so funny.
Yeah, sell your BFF merchandise and that. But moving on to a much less creepy and more awesome is Bayley acknowledging Izzy and all her continued championships, saying proud of you, Izzy, and Izzy, of course, love you more than words can describe. You know, Izzy's future, she's destined for a big program one way or another, whether she goes AEW or she goes WWE. Either way, I think it'd be great to see her do the indies a little longer. By the way, Pepe is selling his hydrated kiss in the chat, by the way. So if you want an authentic Pepe kiss, you know, just gotta ask, you know.
Damn.
Why so serious? You know, gotta get the Pepe Joker. Yeah, Pepe needs to sell his kiss and have it like the Joker smile, you know. I think that actually might. We need to start selling our own Mission Pro Spotlight cards, and we can get the Pepe hydrated and have that and stuff like that. But anyway.
That's crazy.
Jenna in the chat, when Angel told me about this, I was shocked. Like Izzy, the kiss card just don't make sense with the gimmick. She's we don't need Pepe kisses. Oh, come on. And Jenna, don't hate. No, of course everybody needs a pet. Everybody needs to stay hydrated. But last but certainly not least, we got to talk. We also got to talk about the indie report here from Angel Marie. Some indie shows, some local indie shows that you're super stoked about. With we're feeling the vibes with Key Vibes.
Yeah, so literally tomorrow, like I said, $30. I'm front row for both of these shows, and you know, come on.
Careful, don't let them land on you, friend. Oh my God.
If they land on me, that's so much more fun. I'm like, please land on me. I want this to be fun. Yes, Private Ridley.
Jenna says we need a Ridley report.
We're having too many reports.
We've already
unfortunately, I love Ridley.
Now, do we get, if we had to replace the Ridley report? I mean, we can't replace the Cali report. We got to do the Cali report.
I don't want to replace the Cali report, but technically we could replace the Cali report with the Indie report.
Okay. Or what we'll do is we'll create it'll be the Indie report, but we'll rotate different promos. Like one will have Cali in it, one Ridley. We'll do different promos.
Yes, that's actually so fire.
we'll keep the Izzy report because that's our champion. But
Yeah,
we'll do the indie report. We'll have different wrestlers, and you just let me know who you want in there. Ridley Thorne, Key Vibes. You know,
the AI of Tommy saying he loves Calientita.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I love Cali. Yeah, get his
Ew.
laugh. I think that would be
Oh my
cool.
gosh. Okay, but yeah.
Cool stuff.
So
Have we heard
yes.
much anything about what's going on with United 210 though? They are doing shows, and it sounds like from when we last talked to Stud Stash, things are still kind of in the works.
Yeah, so United 2-0, Take Me to the Top, it's going to be held, and they're dubbing it the War Pit. Apparently, it used to be like a bullfighting ring. Yeah, apparently, like there used to be bullfights over there. I was like, oh my goodness. But yeah, so they're doing that, and they already announced the dates. I don't remember them, but I know there's a date for July and August as well, and they're both going to be at the War Pit again for United. But yeah, so this Friday, not the future GM. This literally tomorrow.
Yes.
Tomorrow, it's gonna be our United 2-0 champion Key Vibes going up against Emmy Camacho and Ridley Thorne. And you know, if you're a Camacho, United 2-0 is not the best place to go. Even if you're not directly related to the Camachos, you're still a Camacho. So like, yeah, I think we all just want Key to retain, or we want Ridley to win. But as long as Emmy takes the pin, it'll be okay. But I mean, Emmy is a great talent as well. I know Emmy has fought at Mission Pro before, and I saw her at RCW a few months ago, and so that was really cool. But yeah, and so then the next night, it's crazy because we get Ridley versus Key on Friday, and then going to Saturday, Summertime Madness at the Hybrid School of Wrestling. Key Vibes and Ridley Thorne are going to team up to take on Calientita and Anarchid Ash. And Callie and Ash's, dynamic is going to be kind of, crazy because Callie is trying to lead Ash's cult because she thinks she's in a cult-ish, sort of. So I don't know how that's going to go down. I don't know how Callie's going to, keep the whole you're in a cult thing. I don't know how that's going to work out. And then Key and Ridley have teamed up before, and apparently they are undefeated as a tag team. So, maybe they're going to win the match, get the upper hand. And so they said that they have no problems with Ash. They said, hey, she's a metalhead too. We like you, Ash. We just have problems with Callie. But yeah, so it's going to be a great weekend.
Is Ash
need Calientita to win. We need some points, guys.
Yeah, because if Ridley gets the win, Ridley is Team Tolkien.
It's not.
I think.
Okay.
Wait.
God damn it, no. Fuck.
We didn't get Ridley right. No, yeah.
No, who got Ridley? Somebody got. No, wait.
Someone picked Ridley.
I thought we got
I think
Ridley.
he was.
Was it?
No,
countdown.
Tommy.
Oh.
Oh no, he picked Kai Vibes, right? That's who Nafez, or who picked her?
No, not Nafez.
I don't think anyone got Key.
No one picked her.
He stole Gypsy Mac from you guys.
Yeah.
We were literally gonna say her next.
Yep.
It's like he read it in our faces.
Literally.
He had the list.
He did have the list, and he sent it to me, and she was on the list, unfortunately.
Well, it happens. That's too bad. But also, last but certainly not least, All In Texas Karaoke. Mindrunner's going to be there. We may actually get a performance by Mindrunner with the Outrunners and Thunder Rosa, and maybe Takeshita Hobbs and I are going to do Backstreet Boys.
Oh my God!
Like that. So we'll make sure we get some clips and we'll air them after Texas All In. So you might see Midrunner. We might do a little Belle Biv DeVoe. Never trust a big button to smile. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Beautiful.
but it's going to be awesome. All kinds of cool stuff, all kinds of things. Go out, find your most local wrestling promotion wherever you are. Go pay the $20, $30. Go have a great support local indie wrestling. You're going to be hooked. You're going to be so excited. Forget about watching on TV. You can watch on TV too, but it's right there. The interaction, you're going to have a great time. Support your local indie wrestling, because you never know, that indie wrestler that you're paying $20 to see today, in a year could be debuting on NXT, could be debuting on AEW. They might be a future world champion, and you're getting in. It's kind of like when you see that band before they make it big. You can say, yep, I bought her t-shirt way back in the day. Elevate women's wrestling, support women's wrestling, support indie wrestling. Get out there and have some fun, just like we have fun doing this awesome podcast. Dora, any final thoughts before we go?
I hate Tommy and I hate Knopf.
And thank you for our sponsors. We have our
Thank you to our sponsors. And I think I've already said it before, but I am officially dropping the little news segment. Be looking out on my YouTube channel. It's going to be dropping probably early tomorrow morning, because I'm just about to finish with it. So it's really cool.
YouTube name.
It should just be ITRW_Angel Marie.
I heard that the other name is ArmaniSageSucks.com is the.
I'm trying to get that. I'm trying to get the domain fixed. Yeah.
I hear he's a big fan of Mission Pro Spotlight too. I noticed he had some comments about Mission Pro.
Yeah. So you know what? Call him out right here. I'll do it. All right, I'm not afraid. So Armani Sage decided to go. In his comments, I said, your promo sounds really good on mute. Okay, which is the truth, right? And then he goes and says, oh, yeah, that's what everyone says about your little podcast whenever you're on. And I'm like, oh, you're really cute. You're really cute. Now look at this. There's 14 people. I'm literally looking at it right here. There's 14 people in here. Why would that many people be in here if they didn't care? We always have people coming in here every single week. Obviously they care about us and they don't want us on mute because they actually listen and they actually care about us, unlike you, Armani. You suck.
I think we need to get Armani Sage on the podcast.
Oh, hell no! I will retire.
Or ratings.
We're gonna be on mute the whole time. They're gonna mute
literally. Had to mute him.
Oh my goodness. Awesome stuff.
I can't wait to beat him up this weekend. 2 times. I have to see him 2 times. Really?
But he needs to be a little bit nicer to the United 210 GM, future GM. So
exactly. Or else I'm not going to book him well.
Jenna already.
Hush.
She's your number
Jenna.
1 fan. But,
thank you.
Also, anyways, have a great week. Hopefully, we'll see some better stats next week from Mission Pro Spotlight in our contest. Much love to everybody, the Mission Pro family, everybody out there. And remember, you're not alone. If you're struggling, you're feeling a little bit down, 2 things. 1, reach out to somebody, anybody, even us. Slide into our DMs if you need someone to talk to. But also, go out and watch some wrestling. Nothing like wrestling to just get you out of whatever funk you're in and just have a great time with a bunch of other idiots like us, a bunch of marks like us. Just go and scream like a moron, just like us. It's so much fun. You'll have a blast, and maybe, just maybe, even for a little while, whatever's got you down will fade away for a while. So we love you. Have a great one, and without further ado, goodbye, and good night.